Welcome, fourth graders. We are closing in on our Unit 7 test. Can you believe we have now gone all the way through 7 complete units, right? And then these units are longer than the units you did in third grade. It's been a lot of work this year. We've done a nice job. Let's roll through this. We have 8 cans of green beans in our pantry. Each can weighs 7/8 of a pound. How much do the cans weigh together? So let's get an equation with an unknown, meaning don't put the answer here yet. Give me the equation we would use to solve that. Okay, right? This is 8 groups of 7/8, right? This is equal groups. So we're going to have 8 times 7/8 equals, and then our unknown here, I like to use whatever it is that we're talking about, P for pound, but you could have used X or Z or whatever letter you want. Now, I want you to multiply those and just give me the improper fraction that you get to start. Okay, 8 times 7 is 56. 56/8. Now, right, we've talked about how to convert this into a whole number or a mixed number. This is just a little division problem like that. 56 divided by 8. How many 8s are in 56? 7, right? With none left over. So there's no mixed number here. This just equals 7. 7 pounds. Some improper fractions equal whole numbers, right? There's lots of them, like 12/3. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. 10 halves. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So we can have we can have improper fractions that equal whole numbers. Sam runs 4/10 of a mile every day. How many miles does he run in a week? 7 days in a week, right? Let's get the equation with the unknown first. 7 times 4/10. And this time I want you, let's go M here, to give me the answer, but I want you to put it into a mixed number or a whole number. I don't think this one is going to turn out into a whole number. Give me a mixed number as your answer. Okay, 7 times 4 is 28, so 28/10. How many 10s are in 28, right? 10. Another way to think about this is 28/10 is 10/10 plus 10/10 plus 8/10. So here's a whole and here's a whole. 2 and 8/10. Now, if you reduced that further and said 2 and 4/5, that works too. And the last one here about multiplying. Aaron's waffle recipe calls for 1 1/3 cups of strawberries. If he wants to triple the recipe, how many cups of strawberries will he need? Is our number of strawberries going to get larger or smaller than 1 1/3 cups? It's going to get larger, right? He's going to do it 3 times. 3 groups of 1 1/3. Equal groups means 3 times 1 1/3 equals C for cups. Now, what do you remember about multiplying a whole number times a mixed number? Yeah, most of the time we're going to split this into 2 parts, right? We're going to take the 3 and we're going to multiply it times the 1, and then the 3 times the 1/3. 3 times 1. 3 times 1/3. Now, I could have taken 1 1/3 and changed it into an improper fraction and then multiplied that and then changed it back. It's fine if you want to go that way, but a lot of times people make mistakes there. So I have 3 and I have 3/3. Well, that's 3 3/3. But of course, those 3/3 make up a whole. So he needs 4 cups of strawberries. See how this is useful, right? In the kitchen, you know, if you're ever going to have a party or a group of people or family over, sometimes you have to double or triple recipes, and most recipes have something that has fractions in it. So you need to know how to multiply these fractions and whole numbers. Let's get into a word problem here now. Cameron and Ian, maybe, work as referees at 2 sports centers. At Indy Sports Park, they each work 6 hours per week. Oh, I remember these types of questions. Together, they make $120 each week at Indy Sports Park. At the YMCA, they work 4 hours per week. Together, they earn $104 each week at the YMCA. Which sports park pays more per hour to each boy? How much per hour? All right, let's just deal with one at a time. Indy Sports Park says 6 hours a week. If they do 6 hours a week, they will get, what was it? I already forgot. $120. Right? Working together. So 6 hours is going to make them $120. And we need to figure out how much one boy makes for 1 hour. What could we do first? Okay, there's 2 things we could have done first. We can take this 120 and divide it by 6. And that's going to figure out how much they both make in each hour. Or we could have split the 120 in half and then dealt with just one boy at a time. Okay, since I've got these 2 numbers here, I bet most people said this. 120 divided by 6, which is one of our extended division facts. Okay, I could go through all the steps, but I know that 20 times 6 is 120. So this number, right, you have to know what your numbers are. That number is the dollars at the Indy Sports Park per hour, but it's both boys. So if I want to get just one boy, they're going to split that in half, right? Half of 20 is 10. So Indy Sports Park, $10 per hour. Not terrible, especially if you're a teenager working out there at something like that. All right, you are going to figure out the amount for the YMCA. $104, so less money, but less hours too. So if they work for 4 hours, they get $104. I want to know how much each boy gets each hour. Right? So one hour, one boy. You get to solve that. Couple of steps. Do that work. Go ahead. Okay. I would go with 104. I'm going to space that out a little bit here. Divided by 4. This is going to give me the amount that they get per hour. No groups here. You want to, if you've not seen all my videos and you want to know what I'm doing here, well, can go back and watch my dividing up videos. Hey, it's just like bringing down, only you just push it up. A lot of people think it's easier. $26. $26 per hour, but that's both boys. So if you just said 26, you forgot the last step, which is to divide it in half. So $13. So look at that. Even though they make less money, they get more per hour, right? The YMCA was more. How much more? Well, one was 13 and one was 10. How much more? Those words are almost always, like 99% of the time, $3. All right, boy, we talked about a lot there. Let's keep going here. We've got our line plot. We didn't have a lot of different skills in this unit. We spent a lot of time working on similar skills. One of these skills was line plots. For 4 days, the Smith family kept track of how much cereal each member used at breakfast. They measured to the nearest 1/4 of a cup. Here are their results. Now, remember, when it says nearest 1/4, that could be a whole number, right? Like 1, because 1 is the same as 4/4 or 0. Okay, and so we're going to give this a title. What do you want to call it? I'm going to call it Yummy Cereal. Why did I put capitals on yummy and cereal? Because we have a title. First and last words of a title. All important words would also get capitalized as well. When you start designing a line plot, we need to find the lowest number up here. Of course, it's 0, right? And now we're going to count by 1/4. Fourths. Okay, so 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. 4/4 is 1 whole. 1 1/4, 1 2/4, 1 3/4. And that's going to get, and nothing goes bigger than that, right? Nothing is above, nothing is 2 or above. Now I'm going to put these on the line plot. I'm going to use X's and I'm going to cross them off as I go. So 1 1/4 goes right there. 1 right there. And I'm going to do this because you don't have this in front of you. 2 groups of 3/4. Here's another 1 whole. 1 3/4. 1 whole again. 0 and 3/4. Now, this is a good example of why you have to put the numbers down here before you start putting X's, because nothing was 2/4, but we still need a spot for that, right? We can't just leave it out. Okay, now we can answer questions that go with a line plot. Oh, label first. These are they miles, feet? Nope, they are cups, because that's what the problem said. Always label what those numbers are. How many times did the family use 3/4 of a cup of cereal? 2. How much cereal is this all together, right? So 2 times 3/4. How much cereal? You should have said 1 2/4 or 1 1/2. Right? If you said 6/4, or that's kind of right. It's an improper fraction. We can start changing those. What was the greatest amount of cereal that someone used in a day? Now, people want to say 1 here. People want to say greatest, oh, biggest one, but 1 cup of cereal. Some people used more. These guys, right? 1 3/4. What amount of milk was used? Milk? Why does it say milk? I think they meant cereal. Yeah. How about cereal? Cereal was used most often. Now it's the time for 1. This is the most often amount of cereal used. And what's the difference between those two amounts? 1 minus, how much would be left there? Just 3/4. All right, this is Line Plots. It has been an adventure through unit number 7. If there are things here that you are stuck on, right? You know the things you can do. You can, with your parents' permission, go out and search out other videos. Go back and watch some of Mr. White's videos. Ask me a question. Send me an email. Send your teacher. If I'm not your teacher, send your teacher an email or a message, right? Reach out and be assertive, right? If you don't understand something, ask. That way your teacher is able to help you with that. All right, 4th graders, good luck.